This class is concerned with approaches to employee welfare. Now, as you'll see, it's part 1 of 4. There are 4 videos on this topic, and of course it's important to view and study all of them. Employee welfare is an approach used by organisations to improve living standards for all employees. Now, we're taking the term here, living standards, very broadly. It also includes the conditions of work. Employee welfare cuts across working conditions, remuneration, holiday entitlement, health and safety, training, and general development within that working framework. So the organisation is committed to improving we could say the living standards or the working life of the employee. The aim of employee welfare is to develop a motivated, efficient and loyal workforce. Every time I put a set of points on, we can make them wider, because it can do more than this. It can do more than motivate and improve the efficiency and the loyalty of the workforce. It can train the workforce. It can engage the workforce, as well as perhaps giving them better remuneration, a better lifestyle. So it's a reward to the workforce for engaging in the working process and for furthering the aims of the organisation, furthering the aims of the company. Employees are more productive if they are valued and offered welfare provisions which improve the standard of their living. So employees become more interested and more engaged with the company and the organisation if they see the organisation being interested in them, in their welfare, health and safety, training, perhaps opportunities for promotion, better remuneration, and so on. And if the employees see that, then they are going to be more willing to participate with the organisation and to subscribe to the attainment of the corporate goals, the corporate strategy. Now, why employers provide welfare provisions? Well, concern for employee health and social corporate responsibility. There are 2 parts here. One is that employers may be genuinely worried about working conditions. Some working conditions may be hazardous. It may be perhaps heavy engineering or perhaps heavy construction sites or whatever. It may be hazardous. It may pose a risk to the employees. So it's important that adequate welfare provisions are made to try to protect the workforce against injury and against any situation that arises which may interfere with their normal processes in life. The more selfish reason is that the company may want to provide these facilities for corporate social responsibility reasons. They may wish to show the world that they are a good company. They want to show the world that they have taken all precautions necessary to ensure the welfare of their employees, and that they're working in a responsible manner. So that may be an issue which is more for the general public to see. Now, of course, this is all taking a very mean view of corporate social responsibility. It may be that the company has genuine desires to promote corporate social responsibility and to genuinely work within that framework because it is the right thing to do. But there's an element that needs to be addressed, and that element is the company doing it for image sake, or are they doing it because it is the right thing to do? And these must be carefully looked at and carefully understood. Develop trust and a loyal workforce. Employees are more likely to work hard for an organisation if they are valued and trusted. So the employees need to be engaged in the work process. They need to be consulted, spoken to, their opinions sought about various issues, about changes in working practice or the introduction of some new equipment or whatever it is. And if the employees are consulted and their opinions are taken into account, the employees feel more a part of the organisation, and therefore they're more loyal to the organisation. Of course, it improves the company image, and employees are more likely to work for an organisation that communicated welfare concerns for its employees. Excuse me. And this is related to the point I made earlier about corporate social responsibility. Sometimes companies may engage in programs which are designed to project a positive image of the business. And they are effective in introducing corporate social responsibility issues and programs. But the prime motivation could be because it wishes to project a good image of the business. So we have to be careful when we look at the provision of better working conditions and training programs and so on. Is the company genuinely doing it to promote loyalty, improve the welfare of the employees and improve productivity and so on? Or is it doing it because it wants to be seen to be doing it? And it's felt a necessity. If it's the case that they are genuinely doing it, then it's interesting to consider employers in the early 21st century. Consider these as radically different to employers, let's say, in the 19th century, who were less enlightened. But the employers in the 19th century may have had opportunities to promote the same types of programs, albeit on a much limited scale because of resources and because of the available technologies at the time. But a lot of employers in the early parts of the 20th century, let's say, they didn't have these programs. They didn't have corporate social responsibility as an issue. They didn't value, to any great extent, employee welfare like it is today. So was this forced on management, or did it become a part of the corporate responsibility that's now adopted by organisations over this time period because of philanthropic views on the part of management or external pressure from the wider society? It's a debatable point. If there was no external pressure, if there was no legal framework, let's say, would employers have programs to promote health and social corporate responsibility within their organisations? It's a point that can be debated. We'd like to say unambiguously that they would, but the evidence from the early 20th century and mid 20th century was that employers didn't value these programs. These were a cost that the organisations did not want to incur. So there is a debate there that needs to be looked at and considered. There are two types of welfare systems. The statutory welfare system, measures in place that are required by law, all organisations must comply. So the government has taken a role in the welfare systems and has placed requirements on organisations, how they conduct themselves and what is the proper course of action. Again, the fact that the government has had to do that means that perhaps management was reluctant to undertake those costs, or would not engage fully with the programs. So there are, again, debatable points here. Why did the government have to become involved? Why did we have to have a statutory welfare system? Why could it not have been the employers simply doing it because it was the right thing to do? But we know that we have got a statutory framework, and laws are passed that force employers to act in certain ways. There is also a non-statutory welfare system, additional benefits and facilities offered by an organisation to support employees. Well, we know there are a lot of good companies, and we know that a lot of management is highly enlightened and are perfectly familiar with the requirements that is asked of their workforce, and they make every effort to provide the resources, the training, the support, the protection, the health and safety issues. They make every effort to supply these to enable their workforce to be productive and to have a positive experience from work, that the employees feel engaged, they feel part of the organisation, they feel there is support from the organisation. So there are many employers who go down this road and who attempt to support their workforce. The statutory welfare provisions could be clean drinking water. All work facilities must provide clean water for employees to drink. Employees are human, and as humans we need water, and clean water. There should be sitting facilities. It's wrong to ask staff to stand all day. Again, the human condition. We need to rest. We can't be expected to stand at machines or stand doing tasks continuously. We need from time to time to sit down to refresh, to enable us to carry on. We need to sit and relax for a few moments and regain our strength. There should be toilet facilities, and they should be in a clean condition. They should be well maintained. They should be hygienic. There should be canteen facilities. If it's a large workforce, the organisation should provide a canteen facility, and the food should be nutritious and good, and the employees should be able to go for a break and have a drink and have perhaps a snack of some sort. Again, to enable them to continue and to look after their welfare. There should be good lighting and heating. Heating should be within tolerable ranges, not extremely cold or extremely hot or warm. It should be regulated so it's a good working condition, and there should be adequate lighting. Otherwise, it's bad for the employees' eyes. It'll strain their eyes. They're working under dimly lit conditions. And perhaps have some sort of like common room or a rest room where staff can go and sit. Not necessarily a canteen, but just a room where they can go and sit for a few moments and talk to their colleagues and have a 10-minute break. It enables them to continue, and to it improves their working ability, it improves their application job, it improves their concentration, and it also just gives them a break. They are humans and they need this. Non-statutory welfare provisions. Well, it could be health insurance. Some organisations offer health care and regular checkups to their employees. It's a non-statutory welfare provision. It enables the employees to monitor their health. It's paid for by the company, and it improves the health of the workforce. But it also lets the workforce know that the company cares, the company respects them, and is trying to help them along the way. Could be a pension scheme. companies are required to contribute towards pension schemes and try to ensure that workers who are with them for long periods and when they retire, they have some income in the retirement period. Flexitime and holiday pay. Employers offer opportunities for employees to work which suits their personal circumstances. It may be the employer is able to allow, let's say, female staff to attend on a flexible basis because of family commitments, because perhaps they've got children and they need to ensure that the children are safe and looked after as well. So having flexi time, it may be a facility for the employees. And also perhaps paying for holidays and giving them statutory holidays, giving them days off work, and it enables them to, again, recharge. They're able to get back their concentration and they realise that there is a world outside of the business. So they're able to have holidays with their families. There could be mental health and counselling facilities for employees to cope with mental health conditions. Sometimes when people work for many years in the same occupation, perhaps doing the same job, it can affect the way they start to view life. And there should be some contribution by the employer to ensure the mental health of the employees. The employees are humans, and as humans we need stimulation, we need a variety of tasks, and we need to have new experiences. We can't just stand in the same position day after day performing small tasks. It's not right. There could be allowances, take the form of housing, childcare, transport. In addition to salaries, the companies may pay an allowance for people to get accommodation, perhaps near the company, so they're easily able to get to work. Or the company could pay something towards childcare, so to enable the employees to attend work, knowing their children are looked after. Or they could make an allowance towards transport, subsidise, let's say, subsidise cars or subsidise bus travel or whatever it is. So in this short talk, one of 4 as I said, we've looked at the rationale behind the welfare programs that employers put up. We've touched on the big debate: would these programs exist if it wasn't for outside agencies like social pressure and the government? But having done that, we recognise that there are many enlightened businesses who would in fact provide these, but these changes are more they're easier to be seen in today's world than they were, let's say, in the 20th century, early 20th century, in the 1900s or whatever. We then move to look at the statutory provisions for welfare as applied to employees, and the non-statutory, the one we've got on the screen at the moment. So this is our first set of ideas about employee welfare and the first set of points. I'll ask you now to move on to the second video and do them in sequence. That's all I'm going to do in this particular one, so I'm going to leave it at that for the moment and say thank you for watching.